Chapter 124. Scared to pee. Bang. There was a loud noise in the air, and the sword shadow collided with the sword wave, and they stood up and down. All of Shang Mingjia's sword energy was useless in front of Nie Tian. Ah! The sword shadow came suddenly, Shang Mingjie screamed, and his eyes were instantly replaced by extreme fear. Shang Mingjie was directly hit by the sword shadow, and when his figure was still in the air, he was already spitting out blood, with a painful look on his face. After landing, Shang Mingjie couldn't get up for a long time, his face became extremely miserable, and finally, he cried loudly with a wow. Being defeated by Nie Tian was not enough to make Shang Mingjie cry. What made him cry bitterly was that Nie Tian abolished his sword energy. Sword Chi. That is the sword energy that he spent more than 10 years condensing out. How could Shang Mingjie bear such a blow now that he was crippled by one move? Nie Tian abolished Shang Mingjie's sword energy with a single strike, using exactly the move of Ao Jianju, 300 billion sword shadows. Ao Jianju has 3 basic moves, 3 intermediate moves, advanced 3 moves, and supreme 3 moves. In addition to that, it also includes various sword arrays. Sword Shadow 300 billion is one of the 3 primary moves of Ao Jianju. The other 2 are Sword 17 and 1 Sword Qing Yi. The current Nie Tian is too weak, and he can only use the 3rd primary form of Ao Jianju. Among the 3 elementary moves, Sword 17 is a defensive move, and it is also the only defensive move in Ao Jianju. Sword Shadow 300 billion and 1 Sword Qing Yi are both offensive moves. 300 billion sword shadows, as the name suggests, if cultivated to the extreme, one sword can stab out 300 billion streams of light and sword shadows, which is powerful to destroy the world. It's a pity that the current Nie Tian's sword can only stab hundreds of flowing sword shadows. The gap between Shang Mingjie and Nie Tian was too large, mainly because of the gap in sword energy, sword moves, and sword comprehension. Nie Tian's sword comprehension surpassed Shang Mingjie's 100,000 streets. Even if Nie Tian just used ordinary sword moves at the moment, it was enough to defeat Shang Mingjie. Shang Mingjie was defeated by Nie Tian's sword, and he was powerless to fight back. Everyone was completely stunned by this scene. And Shang Mingjie's wailing made everyone even more confused. Isn't it just defeated? As for crying in public? Boss, why is he crying? Seeing that Shang Mingjie was crying sadly, Jean de Bao couldn't help asking. Nie Tian shook his head slightly, and said, I accidentally crippled his sword energy. He couldn't accept the fact, so he cried. Accidentally, again accidentally. Hearing accidentally again, Shang Mingjie cried even louder. This time, my mother couldn't coax her well. Nie Tian no longer went to visit Shang Mingjie, but looked at the training room next to him, and said with a smile, De Bao, Shang Mingjie's sword energy has been exhausted, so he must not be interested in the training room anymore, and his training room will be yours from now on, gone. Boss, this. Hearing what Nie Tian said, Jean de Bao was not only not happy but was so frightened that his tongue could hardly be straightened. Don't you want it? Nie Tian was slightly taken aback. Jean de Bao leaned over to Nie Tian's ear and whispered, Boss, Shang Mingjie's elder brother is the most powerful person in the inner court, Shang Mingyu. It is said that his strength is very strong, and many teachers in the academy can't match him. You abolished Shang Mingjie, Shang Mingyu will not let it go, let's leave first. Oh? Nie Tian was a little surprised, and said with a smile, Why do you want to leave? The sword energy I accidentally condensed hasn't found an opponent yet. If Shang Mingyu comes, he can just try my sword energy to the end. To what extent? When Shang Mingyu heard this name from Nie Tian's mouth, the people around him were quite surprised and started talking about it. Nie Tian knows that Shang Mingjie is Shang Mingyu's younger brother, and he dares to abolish his sword energy. Is he desperate? Yes. Shang Mingyu is not comparable to Shang Mingjie. He is the #1 person in the inner court. It is said that many teachers are not his opponents. I heard that Shang Mingyu is in seclusion during this time. I heard that he wants to cultivate Jianqing. I don't know if it's true or not. Jianqing. Bayun Academy hasn't produced a swordsman with a sword heart yet. At this time, Shang Mingjie also thought of something. With some strength, he stood up suddenly, pointed at Nie Tian, and shouted, "Little beast, just wait. My elder brother is in retreat. When he finishes his retreat, he will take your dog's life." Shang Mingyu is indeed in retreat, and he is not in Bayun Academy at this time. Nie Tian chuckled and said, "You know that Shang Mingyu is in seclusion, but you still dare to be so arrogant? Believe it or not, I'll kill you right now." After finishing speaking, Nie Tian shot out a sharp light in his eyes and released a murderous intent from his body. "Do you dare?" Shang Mingjie backed away in fright and fell to the ground with a thud. Suddenly, he felt his thighs heat up, warm liquid flowed out, and a smell of urine wafted in the air. Scared to pee. To everyone's surprise, Shang Mingjie, who was usually aloof and arrogant, was scared to pee. Nie Tian curled his lips and smiled, and said, "You like to be Lan Binji's watchdog. I don't care. Unfortunately, you shouldn't bite me. But for the sake of scaring you, I will show kindness. Let me spare your dog's life for the time being. Next time, grow eyes and don't bite people indiscriminately." After Nie Tian finished speaking, he was no longer interested in taking another look at Shang Mingjie. A person who was frightened to urinate in public would have dirtied his hands if he killed him. "Boss, do you want to enter the training room? This is Prince Bingyie's training room." Seeing Nie Tian walking towards the training room, Jean Debeo pulled Nie Tian, the fat on his face trembling violently due to nervousness. The conflict between Nie Tian and Lan Binji had already spread throughout the entire Bayun Academy. If Nie Tian robbed Lan Binji's training room again, the two of them would have to fight again when they met again. After all, Lan Binji was still a prince. Could it be that Nie Tian could abolish Shang Mingjie the same way he abolished Shang Mingjie? Nie Tian turned around, patted Jean Debeo on the shoulder, and said, "Don't worry, Debeo. It's just a training room. I believe Lan Binji will be very happy to give it to me." Jean Debeo was completely speechless. With Lan Binji's pissing nature, it is impossible to give up the practice room to Nie Tian, let alone give up willingly. But Nie Tian had made up his mind, and Jean Debeo had no choice but to sacrifice his life to accompany the gentleman. So, under the watchful eyes of everyone, Nie Tian entered Lan Binji's training room, and Jean Debeo entered Shang Mingjie's training room. After Nie Tian entered the training room was immediately sealed off by a restriction. This restriction can isolate all disturbances from the outside world unless someone forcibly breaks through the restriction. When a martial artist is practicing, his body and soul are in a state of concentration, and he is most afraid of being disturbed by others. If he is disturbed, especially at the critical moment of hitting a higher level, he will be in danger of going crazy. The practice room restriction is specially set up so that warriors will not be disturbed, and it is generally only allowed to be removed from the inside. After Nie Tian entered the training room, he immediately felt a very heavy pressure, which made him feel a lot heavier. I didn't expect that Bayun's training room is not bad, and it has the blessing of the gravity array. Nie Tian smiled lightly. In the training room, there is not only the blessing of the spirit gathering array, but also the blessing of the gravity array. After entering the practice room, warriors will bear 10 times the force of gravity, and with the prolongation of practice time, the force of gravity they must bear will become stronger and stronger.